YouTube, what's going on? It is great to be back from vacation. Free agency frenzy. I've been waiting for this day. It seemed like an eternity, even though it hasn't even been that long. Lions made a couple of moves, a couple of notable moves around the league. We're going to break all of that down. Let's get into it. So let's get into it right away. Let's go into what the Lions just did. Obviously, Brad Holmes is not done. There's still some notable guys that's out there. I think Brad Holmes is trying to be a little bit patient here. I think we hear something maybe midweek or a little bit later, waiting for some guys to possibly get cut, some guys that we can possibly trade for. You heard some rattlings out there. Guys like Khalil Mack and Bosa over there with the Chargers. Couple of situations, right? A lot of guys that we wanted that are still available right now. But we've seen a lot of things happen today. A lot of trading, a lot of signing happen today. So, it's quite a bit to talk about so far in this frenzy. Well, for us Lions fans, we kind of had to wait a little bit before we got our first notable trade. So we ended up trading for Carlton Davis, and going back to when we played the Bucks. Definitely a tough corner, man. Definitely a tough corner. Didn't have the greatest year last season, but I think in the right situation, especially with this team and the playing style of this defense, I think that he'll definitely be a great add. Some people are calling him CB1. Me, I'm wait and see. I'm in that wait and see situation. But he's definitely a tough as nails, longer corner, man. And I appreciate those type of players. So obviously we know that we have a certain type of player that we like here in Detroit as far as Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. So he definitely fits the mold. On the second hand, we also added Marcus Davenport, who some look at as a bust simply because of the injury situation. I mean, pretty much right now, a replacement for Aquara. He's a guy that could be a high risk, high reward guy, right? Low risk. I'm sorry, low risk, high reward guy. 1 year deal. You know what I'm saying? But when he has been healthy, you look back at 2021, he was able to produce 9 sacks. So another edge that's on the lengthier side, but he just has to stay healthy. That's been a common theme here with the Detroit Lions. So that's why I'm kind of, I'm not excited about it. Obviously, it's just a depth move. It's just a depth move. That's all it is. And it's just a wait and see move to where, hey, if he gets healthy, let's see if he can turn into something for us. He gets reunited with Aaron Glenn. So we'll see how that develops. Obviously, we're still in the business for defensive line help. There's still some names out there. Like I mentioned earlier, Khalil Mack is one of them. 17 sacks last season, even though he's 34 years old. But also Bosa. Either one of those guys could be available just from the Chargers. So like I said, Brad Holmes still has his options. He has his options still. So we'll see. You just kind of wanted to see him push for a couple of guys that were available, but we kind of grown to understand the way that he operates. If we like it or not, me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I respect it. So that's just where that is. I'm at the point where, as the Detroit Lions, we're at the top of that NFC. But in order for us to get over the top, we need to get some guys in here that show up in the biggest moments. You've seen a guy in a Super Bowl and Chris Jones show up in the biggest moment. That's why those guys get what they get. That's why they are who they are. We need those players. And like I said, we're at a state right now where, players are developing into that. We've seen some of our youth kind of have some uncharacteristic things happen, in our NFC championship game, man. And it bit us. It bit us bad. So that's why you have the veteran studs or stars on your team. The rich are supposed to get richer. For some reason, Lions fans don't understand that yet. We're not used to winning. So the rich are supposed to get richer, right? We at some point you have to cut off the let's just get depth. You have to start going to get playmakers, to push you to where you're undeniable. You want to be a team that's undeniable. You're not going to deny us. That's where we need to be. We need to go over the top. We need not to sit at the top, but go over it. So that's what takes you to the next level, and that's why you see teams do those type of things. I heard a couple of people say, hey, you look at the teams that we were contending against, none of those teams made moves. Well, those teams don't have the money that we have. We have the money. You see what I'm saying? And none of those teams have the holes that we have. The holes in our defense, pass rush. We still need somebody else next to Lynn McNeil. We need better, man. We need we just added to the secondary. That's a plus. But like I said before, I don't care who you add to the secondary. If that rush up front is not consistent enough, you're going to have issues. It's time for us to get Aaron Glenn some toys, man. He needs more toys to play with. And for some reason, everyone skips over our linebacker unit too. We don't need a little linebacker. Last I checked, our linebacker core is not the greatest over the middle, defending the football, defending tight ends. I don't think we got fast enough end to end, side to side guys. That's what I just watched the whole season of football. So I don't know we need everything on defense. We need an edge. We need another guy in the middle. We need another linebacker. We needed some secondary help. We needed CB1. That's why I say the jury's out. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to Carlton, but like I said, let's not act like half of the fan base was ready to fire Aaron Glenn last season. Let's not act like that. So anyway, man, those are the current moves that we've made so far. Some other moves took place around the league. Bakhtiari went ahead and was cut from the Packers today. So obviously he probably is going to go right over there to the Jets. So like I said, DeAndre Swift is back in the NFC North. Bears 3-year deal. We got to deal with this guy 2 times this season for the next 3 years. So, basically just exchange running backs. But like I said, it's some guys out for Saquon Barkley to the Eagles. That's crazy right there. You look at guys like Brian Burns, who just got sent to hell, sent to the Giants. You know what I'm saying? So it's been some movement, man. Guys in new places, new faces. Aaron Jones also moving on from the Packers. So, but they also pick up a guy, Josh Jacobs. So, like I said, the NFC, when you look at what we have to face here in the NFC North, you got some teams that's doing some building. They're doing some building, but you also have some teams that are getting better. You got the Packers. The Packers are who they are. They're going to improve. This is the Packers we're talking about. They're going to improve, and it's not going to take long. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you look at the Vikings and you look at their QB now in Atlanta going to the Falcons today, most likely we end up facing possibly a J.J. McCarthy. Unless they go and find a veteran that they want to bring and have him come behind them. But nothing else in my mind tells me that they're not going to go after JJ. So either JJ is going to be a Viking or a Patriot. I'm sticking to that. So, but then when you look at the Bears, the quarterback situation, are they going to go ahead and trade, Justin Fields? Either way it go, for some reason, the Bears just don't understand that they need to get some protection for the quarterback. They need to get protection for the quarterback. You know, they add this player, that player, whatever. They, for some reason, don't understand that they need to get protection for the quarterback over there. So, right now, to me, the Bears are still where they were. They're as they were, whether you added Swift or not. Running the football against us is not something that teams have been able to do. And I expect the Lions to go and add another guy in the middle to make that even harder. Whether it's in this free agency or, by trade or in the draft, we'll see. We got a lot of time, right? But I expect us to address that. I expect Brad Holmes to finally address the defensive line and get Aiden Hutchinson some help so I can stop watching him in triple team situations where it's three guys touching him before he even get to the backfield where the quarterback is. I'm tired of that. Right now we have an opportunity to address that, and I expect Brad Holmes to do so. So, we'll keep our eyes open and see what else we do as far as the beginning of this free agency period, man, and throughout the week. But I think that he's been a little bit patient to see what's certain situations arise from some of these teams and some of these prominent guys, man, these veteran guys, to try to bring somebody here that's really, really going to help Aiden Hutchinson and eliminate McNeil on that defensive line. So that's wait and see. But we got a lot more going on today. I'm probably sure is maybe about 5 or 6 signings that happened while I'm here talking to y'all, because Twitter was going. Twitter was definitely going before I jumped on here. But, man, I feel so good to be back talking Lions football. Man, we got a lot to do. I got a lot of notes. We got a lot of draft talk to talk about. I've been doing a lot of film watching. And I cannot wait to unleash some of the information, man, that I was able to get from the Senior Bowl, from the Combine, and just from watching these guys on the field, man. It's been fun. We got positions of need, and we'll break all of that down throughout this week and through next week, all the way leading up to the draft. So, yeah, good to be back. Let's have some fun, man. Let's have some fun, and keep our eyes on the Lions, man. That said, I'll catch you guys at the next video. Peace.